Hey guys, Ivan here, and while we are waiting for the prejudging of the classic physique to start and the finals for the Open to wrap up tonight, let's talk a little bit more about what happened last night, and let's start with the 212 division. So, as you guys know, Keon Pearson ended up winning for the third time, but it was a close show, man. On my voting poll, there were almost 10,000 votes, and it was 50-50, literally, until the very end. So it was extremely close because this was arguably the best Shawn Clarida we ever saw. He was full and conditioned as hell, the most conditioned guy on that stage. Now, Keon was bigger than he was last year, but he wasn't as conditioned as he knows how to be. He improved for the finals, and that's probably why he took away this win. I'm not sure about the scorecards for the prejudging. I'm curious to see that, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Shaun actually won the prejudging. Now, the reason why they probably didn't give it to Shaun, I mean, aside from Keon's structure and size and symmetry, stuff like that, I think the reason why they punished Shaun potentially was the amount of SEO he has in his body. Basically, you can see it everywhere, especially in his lats. Right here, for example, in the abs and thighs shot. Even more so in the front double. It's everywhere, guys. In the lats mainly, but in the arms as well. Look at his back from behind. It's all rugged. Like, it's overdone with Synthol. I'm not sure if his physique would look better if he didn't do that. Maybe this was the only way for him to be this good, but I'm sure it played a role in selecting the winner of this show. You can't have this sort of a physique winning, you know. Aesthetics are important as well, but yeah, Shaun was big and conditioned, and he had a freak factor, and he pushed Keon for sure. In this video, the angle is favoring Keon for sure, but you can still see that Shaun definitely held his own, and Keon needs to work on that midsection. If he's having troubles with it at 212 pounds, what's gonna happen with it when he actually goes to the Open and grows to be like, I don't know, 230, something like that? That's what he needs to be at if he wants to be competitive in the Open. So that's something he needs to be very mindful of, and he talked about that before. He knows it's an issue. His waist is tiny and he has a great vacuum, but when he flexes those abs, it's definitely an issue. It's definitely an issue, and it hurt him to the point where he almost lost this show. But no, it still wasn't enough to give this victory to Shaun. Shaun is also not perfect. He also has a couple of things to work on. But I mean, at the age of 43, it's actually crazy how much he improved since last year. I mean, those lats grew. They got basically doubled in size. You can guess what he did. I already told you what he did. It's pretty clear what he did with his lats. Like, his teres muscles were never this big, and somehow they just grew at the age of 43. I mean, John Jewett maybe taught him how to train the teres muscles. That's an option as well, for sure. Yeah, right. It's not that. But whenever he did, it worked. I mean, his lats were massive. His arms were freaking huge. Look at the proportions. Like, he has bigger arms than Keon proportionally. His waist was also pretty small. Abs were great. Legs were bigger. He looked great, man. But Keon is just taller and like a bigger man and has a more clean of a look. So yeah, Keon deserved this victory. It was close though, and this kind of ends that discussion about Keon Pearson having the best physique in the world if he almost lost to Shawn Clarida. But then again, you can say that it's not that Keon is not that great and that's why he almost lost. Is that Shawn Clarida is actually that good. And he is that good when he's compared to the smaller guys. No matter how good Shawn Clarida is, if he goes against the big boys, the taller guys, he won't do that well. But against guys who are shorter, like Keon here, and smaller, of course, under the weight cap of 212 pounds, Shawn Clarida looks crazy. Like, you can say right here, this is a mini Ronnie Coleman. So, yeah, this doesn't exactly mean that Keon's physique is not one of the best in the world. It is one of the best shapes in the world, minus the midsection, which is now a big problem. But other than that, he also needs to put on a lot more size. Even though he's short, he needs to be at least like 20 pounds heavier, at least. Now, I have no idea what Derek's weight was at this show. He was 212 pounds a couple of years ago, but here at this show, this was nowhere near that weight cap. And honestly, I doubt that he's 230 or whatever anymore. I mean, he looks like he's 250 at least. This was just crazy, the amount of size Derek has. He is a freaking mass monster now. I mean, look at this density of the muscle from the front, especially in the legs. His legs were never this massive, and I don't think he was ever this thick and this full in the upper body as well. The show is not over yet. I'm not sure who is winning, but I'm like 99% sure that it is Derek who is winning this show, right in our faces. Nobody likes this guy, but he's just showing up and he is winning show after show. Arnold Classic, Pittsburgh Pro, and now the Mr. Olympia most likely. I mean, we'll see. It also depends on what these guys look at the finals, but based on the prejudging, I'm pretty sure Derek is winning because he's definitely bigger than ever. He has super big and full legs, which is an issue usually, and he's in decent conditioning. And when I say decent conditioning, that means he's not in condition, really. Like, in that top 4, only Andrew Jacked is in condition. I mean, Hadi is shredded as usual, but not for his standards. He's not shredded from the back. You'll see that in a moment. And Samson, he might be like, I don't know, 3% more shredded than last year, but definitely a lot smaller, which does not work in his favor. And look at Hadi's leg right here. How much smaller that right leg is. It's definitely way worse than it was last year, so Hadi is definitely not winning the Mr. Olympia, guys. Let's be realistic here. Hadi is definitely not winning, but he can play second. And as far as Andrew versus Samson, like, I would probably have Andrew over Samson if his side shots were a little bit better. I mean, just look at this. This is not looking very good. Even his midsection is popping out here, and like his arms are not looking thick enough. The rear delts are popping out way too much. It looks way too suspicious. So like his side shots are not good. However, his conditioning is the best it ever was. Crazy thing is, this guy was criticized for his conditioning probably even more than Samson Dauda. Maybe not more, but equally, I would say. And he brought it. He brought crazy conditioning. Like I said, the best conditioning in that entire top 4 and one of the best on the whole stage. He was peeled, man. Look at the details in his quads. His abs as well, and from behind, his glutes were finally dug out. They were finally shredded. His back, too. So I wouldn't have an issue with Andrew placing as high as second in this show because of his conditioning and because of the freak factor he has. We'll see what's going to happen at the finals, but I don't know, man. Like, Hadi, yeah, he has a lot of good things going on for him. He is not as conditioned as he knows how to be from the back, and that right leg is really, really noticeable now, so that's a huge issue. So yeah, this kind of means that Hadi's career is towards the end. This is just going to get worse and worse. I mean, who knows? Maybe he can do something about it like Shawn Clarida just did, but it's one leg. So it's probably like some sort of a nerve damage or something. He can't really fix that. Like, that's always going to be a problem. But, I mean, still, the guy is probably going to play second at the Mr. Olympia. So he's obviously doing great. But to win this show, I don't know, with this flaw, man. So Derek seems to be winning, but it's not exactly a super competitive lineup. Let's be real. Samson is not at his best, far from his best. Hadi also has some problems with his physique, and Andrew Jacked basically just cracked this first call out for the first time in his career at the Mr. Olympia, so I think Derek is winning this quite clearly. He brought it, man. You can say whatever you want about him, but he definitely brought it. Like, the fullness in the legs, the size in the legs, overall size and the freak factor with a small waist and with a huge, massive back and peeled glutes and hamstrings, and the entire back is also shredded. So yeah, he's winning this in my opinion. Now let's talk about Nick Walker, who I think it's pretty safe to say failed pretty badly at this show. Now, before the Mr. Olympia, I was watching Nick Strength and Powers videos, and he was like, Nick is looking very confident. And I was like, what is this guy even looking at? I made a video about it, and I said that he looks exactly the opposite of the confident. He looks like he's on a verge of quitting, of not even showing up at this show. And he may have even considered that, but he decided to do it because, I mean, if he pulled out again for the third time, the fans would never forgive him. So he had to show up, but he knew that he is not bringing it. I mean, this is still decent conditioning, but this is far from Nick's 100%. This is nowhere near what he brought to the New York and the Pittsburgh Pro. Why? What the hell happened? I have no idea as of yet. I'm sure he'll talk about it after the Mr. Olympia, and as soon as I find out, I'll let you guys know. Hopefully it's not fake gear again, and I don't think it's a coaching issue. Maybe what Shawn Ray said actually makes a lot of sense. As he says, some guys crumble under the pressure, and he named Nick Walker as one of them. Shawn Ray, actually had Nick 6th at Mr. Olympia before the show even started, and Bob Cicherillo had Nick in 8th, as you guys know, and now it seems like Bob was not even that far off. 2 spots off. But hell, it's not impossible for Tonio Burton and Brandon Curry to beat Nick Walker in the finals. I mean, let's take a look at this video. In those 2 first front shots, I have Tonio and Brandon ahead of Nick. I think Martin is definitely defeating Nick, there's no question about that, but I can see arguments for Brandon and Tonio doing the same thing as well. Let's look at the side shots. Those are supposed to be Nick's winner shots, side chest. Look at Brandon, man. Look at Brandon. Okay, yeah, he's beating Tonio in this one, but Brandon looks better in the side chest, to be honest, from this angle. Now in the back poses, that's where Nick probably beats Brandon, but Nick's tan was also off. And again, conditioning was not that great. So, like, Nick's back double bicep is supposed to be the best in the world. And it is. It is when he's on. But here he's definitely drastically off. And yeah, like, he's not placing 8. I don't think so. Because of his back shots and the side shots. But in the front shots, he's losing to like 10 guys at this show. Like this, when he's off. So Bob Cicherillo was definitely not far off. And yeah, you guys know that I predicted Nick winning the Mr. Olympia, but I don't think it's just because of his structure that he's placing this low. It's mainly because he's so off. Guys, like, everybody pretty much agreed that he beat Derek at Pittsburgh. So that was a pretty good Derek. Not the best Derek ever, but it was a pretty good Derek. And if that Nick from the Pittsburgh Pro or the New York Pro showed up at a Mr. Olympia, he would be in that top call out for sure. In my opinion, he would probably place second. At least second. He would push Derek again for the win. But this is not even close to that Nick Walker. And that's a huge if. Mr. Olympia is the biggest show of them all, and of course there is a lot of pressure on these guys, so like Shawn Ray says, some of them crumble under that pressure, and apparently it seems like Nick Walker is one of those guys. Maybe there is something else to it, who the hell knows why this happened, but yeah, he failed pretty badly, and you can see it in his face as well. He looks like he doesn't even want to be on this stage, and I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't want to be here. He did this just because he doesn't want to be called the Pull-Out King, or I don't know, what were the nicknames? Nick Talker. Maybe they're going to call him Nick Talker now because he said he was going to win the Mr. Olympia. I don't know where this guy gets the confidence to say stuff like that when he knows he looks the way he looks. He should have said, like, I'm not exactly 100% and we'll see what's going to happen. I'm hoping for the top 5, whatever. But he went with that whole thing, I'm winning the Mr. Olympia, even though he knew he was not delivering it. And you could see it these past couple of days, based on his body language, based on his expressions. Like, he looked like he was not happy with the look he was bringing, and yeah, now we see why. Now, as far as Urs Kalecinski, guys, for his first open show, 12th spot is a great achievement. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly where he's gonna land. I definitely have him winning over Nexzilla in that third call out. I have him winning that third call out. Now, as far as his look at this show, yeah, like, he brought it, for sure. He came in pretty full, pretty conditioned. Like Shawn Ray also said, there was pretty much nothing for Urs to gain at this show. Placing 12th doesn't mean anything really. I'm sure a lot of people are actually doubting him now and saying that he will never be in the top 6 or whatever, but I don't think so. I think anything is possible. This is his first Open Olympia, and he brought a decent look, and yeah, he's beating a lot of guys. Like, there are 20 guys competing, so he's placing 12th, and I think that's still a great result for the first Mr. Olympia ever. Now, he's 265 at this show. If he gets to like 285 or so, That's going to definitely be a more competitive look. And also, he needs to bring better conditioning, especially from the back. He needs to improve the size of his whole upper body, especially the back. And then we can talk about that top 6. But at his first Mr. Olympia, pushing Nexila and probably defeating him is still a great achievement. I mean, this guy is a freaking mass monster. But yeah, Nexila didn't even diet for this show. He just showed up and put a tan on, if that much, and he just posed. But the size on this guy is just so crazy, and Urs seems to be beating Regan Grimes as well. Regan, who has been a top 10 Olympian for a while now, and who we talk about as a guy with a lot of potential to like be the next Mr. Olympia. I mean, potential doesn't have to mean anything, but if anybody is going to utilize their potential, I think that's Urs Kalecinski. So let's give him a couple of years to see what he can actually achieve in this open division. Now, as far as Nexila, did he bring it? I mean, he brought the size, but it ends there. He did not deliver conditioning, not even close to decent conditioning. But still with his size, he's going to beat some guys because this is bodybuilding, however, and this amount of muscle can't go unnoticed. But if he dieted for like at least a couple of weeks before this show, I mean, he would probably place a couple of spots above. And I mentioned this before, I'll probably make a separate video on it, but Urs talked about this in his video, and he said that Nexila is super relaxed, like he's not even following the diet his coach gave him, he's eating cookies in the middle of the workout, he's stopping cardio whenever he feels like stopping it, his training is very, very light, he's not focused at all, so the only reason why this guy is here is because of his genetics. I don't think he cares too much about becoming the best he can become. You know, he has this crazy genetics and he has a job and that's bodybuilding for him and he enjoys other things in life, but he just, gets to be this massive without even trying hard, and so he can do these shows and win them and compete at a Mr. Olympia and make a living by doing this. Why not? Why not when he's so blessed genetically? But it doesn't seem like he's driven to actually fulfill his maximum potential, and that's probably never going to happen, but at least we got this guy on the Mr. Olympia stage. He did not pull out, he showed up, and he's looking like a freak with a whole bunch of muscle, probably the biggest guy on this stage. Alright, and as far as I think now it's safe to say former Mr. Olympia, Samson Dauda, guys, you gotta give it to me. When I saw his guest posing video, I told you, he looks downsized. And a lot of other people were like, he looks great, he looks conditioned. Nick Strength and Power was, of course, like, he's looking his best ever, blah, blah, blah. It was noticeable at that point that he lost a lot of size and he failed to bring it back. I also told you a day out of the Mr. Olympia that Nick Walker doesn't look like he's ready, he has a double chin, this and that. I also told you that Andrew Jack looks conditioned based on his face. Maybe I'm not great at predicting the future, so don't bet on my predictions, but when I actually see something, I can tell you exactly the way it is. So Samson, definitely a lot smaller. This looks very similar to his 2022 Mr. Olympia look. Smaller and also not conditioned. Now, was his body fat percent lower at this show than at last show? Maybe, but because of the lack of the size and fullness, nothing popped. So he looked even worse in condition. He looked softer. Yeah, you can say that he might be leaner, but it doesn't look like that. He doesn't have the conditioning. The same thing like with Shawn Clarida. Shawn Clarida, people are saying that he's so peeled, so shredded. He's not only lean, he's super full as well. And doesn't hold any water. So that's why Shawn looks so hard. And Samson, I'm guessing he tried to bring the fullness in the last moment and he just got watery. And that's it. Watery, small, flat, not even conditioned. This definitely did not work for Samson. This is not a very good look for him, and at this point, maybe he should consider hiring another coach. Not Milo Sharchev, okay, that didn't work out, but stop working with your wife, prepping alone. Hire somebody who you think is good, for example, I don't know, Chris Acito. Look at what he's done with Andrew Jack and with Derek Lunsford, also with Good Vito. All these guys are doing great at this show, and if you don't want to hire somebody high profile like that, there is a lot of other lower level, very knowledgeable coaches. If I wanted to hire a coach who's going to pay a lot of attention to me If I don't feel like hiring somebody high level like Chris Aceto or Patrick Tour, there is a lot of talent out there. For example, look at what John Jewett did with Shawn Clarida. That's a great job done right there. I would also consider Andrew Barry, for example. That guy, in my opinion, is probably one of the most knowledgeable guys on this topic of bodybuilding in the world right now. And I know Nick Walker considered hiring him instead of Kyle Wilkes, but he decided to go with Kyle Wilkes in the end. So that's, for example, one very, very good coach who is just waiting for their opportunity. So if Samson gave that guy, for example, the opportunity, he would pay all of attention to him. And if Samson is actually coachable, that could probably work really well for Samson. This thing that he's doing right now is a hit or miss. He did it once successfully for that last year Mr. Olympia and never again. He failed at the Arnold, he failed now at a Mr. Olympia. His career is coming towards the end, so now he should definitely consider hiring an actual coach, somebody he trusts, somebody who is knowledgeable and who is going to help him peak for these shows better. And that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Stay tuned because soon we're gonna have the classic physique prejudging, and then later tonight the finals and the results of the Open. We'll find out who is our next classic physique and Open Mr. Olympia. You guys tell me down below whatever you think. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, guys, for more content like this. See you soon, all the best, and bye bye.